What's up, everyone? Welcome back. And we have finally got a video from James Gunn with his new slate for the DCU called Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters, DC Studios DC. So, I will admit I was that person that was in complete uproar when I heard the news of Henry Cavill being fired. I was not a happy customer, but look, I'm rolling with the punches. I can only ever go off some people's words, and let's just see what Gunn has to offer. So without further ado, let's begin.
Hey everybody, I'm James Gunn. I'm the co-CEO of DC Studios. So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's one of, our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of the mainstream DCU continuity. Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love, that resets the entire DC universe. Okay. Then to move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about now. So, Peter and I, along with a group of very talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios will be in film, television, and gaming. This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now this, what I'm about to tell you, is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter. The first project is Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos is an animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into animation, out of animation, usually having the same actor play their voice as who plays them in live action.
Okay.
The next project up is Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis. Viola Davis is going to team up with members of Team Peacemaker, and this is a story that's been created by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who created the Doom Patrol. It is a fantastic story that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see it. Okay, next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU. This is called Superman Legacy. This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it. And Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025. Okay, the next thing is a big premiere HBO television series called Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other lanterns peppered in there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective, with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU. Next is a big movie called The Authority. The Authority is a passion project of mine. It's based on the marvelous Wildstorm characters we are now bringing into the DCU and will interact with all of our primary DCU characters. The Authority are a group of superheroes who think the world is broken and they want to fix it by any means necessary. I think it's a very different look at superheroes. We're doing a television series called Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is a story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost like Game of Thrones with Westeros, but with all of the inhabitants of Paradise Island. The introduction of the DCU's Batman is The Brave and the Bold. The Brave and the Bold is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne. This is based on Grant Morrison's great comic book run.
Okay.
Damian Wayne is my favorite Robin. He's a little assassin who Batman tries to get in line, and so this is the story of the two of them and the beginning of sort of the Bat family in the DCU. Next up is a TV series called Booster Gold. Booster Gold is one of comics' really popular cult heroes. He is a fascinating guy. He's a loser from the future who uses future technology to come back to present day and become a superhero so that people will love him. It is basically the superhero story of imposter syndrome on an HBO Max series. One of my favorite comic book series from last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And so we're going to turn that into a big science fiction epic film. Now, Superman is a guy who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents, whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way, so she's a much more jaded character. And that brings me to Swamp Thing, the last thing we're going to talk about, a very dark horror story in the origins of the monster who is Swamp Thing. And although it's totally outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the stories. Anyway, those are the stories that I can tell you about right now. I've loved the DC characters since I was a child. They're incredibly important to me. I knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something very different. One of the things that's very important for me in all of these movies and TV series is that the director's vision and the vision of the writers and all of the creators is unique and something special. Storytelling is always king. That's all that matters to us. And I want to be true to those stories. I want to be true to you guys and really give you something different than you've ever seen before. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you watching. I hope this was exciting for you because it's really exciting for me. And I can't wait to start to dive into these stories with you guys on this grand adventure. Thank you so much.
Well, I tell you what, that's a lot to take in, boy. That's a lot to take in. Look, I'll say this. Warner Brothers is in a very vulnerable state at the moment. For people that don't know, at this moment in time, and I think for a long time, the studio is in massive debt, obscene debt. It's in about $53 billion debt. Now, the reason for this is obviously, not when I say obviously, I'm just saying because I know it already, but when 2021 happened, they done their day-in-date releases, meaning that if you can cast your mind to 2021, Warner Brothers was releasing their films in theaters and also releasing their film on streaming. Now, you know, so people were at that time opting to, if they had a subscription, that they were going to watch it on their streaming service. Now, what that's done is a lot of these projects didn't break even. They literally didn't make any money whatsoever, and now they've been left with this backlog of debt, and it is actually part of the reason why Warner Brothers could not keep Henry Cavill or Gal Gadot, or I don't even know what's going to be happening with Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne anymore. But at least 2 or 3 of them are getting the cut because they just cannot pay their wages. I hope that gives a little bit more informative context to why these trials and tribulations have been happening and people been getting fired and left, right and centre. It still doesn't defer from the fact that Warner Brothers put Henry Cavill on a mantle to the audience, like to audiences, like as if he was back when they knew all along they could never have him in the first place. Why do that? Ain't got a clue, but it happened. Shit happens. That was such an L move from the studio. But in order for this slate to happen and for it to work, all of the current films that are coming out have to do well. And I still think that there's people that are not on James Gunn's good side just yet. And oddly enough, from all of the projects that he listed, the one project that kind of feels a little bit more up in arms is his Superman film that he's writing, which is odd to me. If you're writing it, you should give us a little bit more context of what you're going to make it about. But if he has a vision, he has a vision. I want to be proved wrong. Look, James Gunn is a good filmmaker when he puts his mind to it. I think he needs to stop being so self-conscious with the fans about, don't worry, I'm going to do it for you. You can't, in other words, don't make promises you can't keep. Don't do the things that the old establishment of the unholy trinity done beforehand, right? Don't repeat those mistakes. Just focus on giving us good stories. And from what I believe we're going to get the Batman and a Superman film all in 2025. At this moment in time, I don't know. I don't see that happening. I think that's way too much to market in 1 year. I mean, it's a field day. If you're a fan, you're going to be loving life. You're going to be eating good, because I think by 2025 there's going to be some Avenger films and Fantastic Four films as well. We're going to be eating good out here. So it's just them on their end. They're going to have the stress of it. But look, I want it to work. But also the thing about Elseworlds, which in a way they're saying has some kind of continuity to DCU, because he did mention at different points we can jump in and out, like we can put Elseworlds a part of DCU, which I believe they're going to do when they're building up to a large scale Justice League film, or something of that grandeur. I like the slate. The Authority sounds good. The Lantern series with this true detective feel behind it, this tone. And it seems like as if with a few of these projects, he will be going for a grounded, dark tone. And I think that's a great divide from what Marvel's doing as well. Give us a few grounded takes. And look, I'm not completely saying throw comedy out the window. You need filmmakers to be true to their style and so on and so forth. But give us some meaty stories as well. We do like that. We do appreciate it still. I mean, look, before it was superhero genre films that were dominating the box office, at a point in time, the only films that people ever wanted to watch was crime films, mafia films, that influx of Martin Scorsese and Quentin Tarantino films at a period in time, and Michael Mann films, action adventure films. They had a place in Hollywood. Now, just like how the fourth turning works with the world, things develop, things change, interests change, and it just happens that the superhero genre has just been dominating. So I'm all here for it. I just want it to be paid off. And with that said, thank you all for watching. Let me know in the comment section, what did you lot think of it? Are you up for it? Are you not for it? Is it complete dog doo-doo? Let me know in the comment section. Leave a like on this video as well. Check the description for more content. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.